everybody, so I wanted to share a review of a new product that I got for my dogs, and it's something that I've wanted for a few years now actually. So I've always wanted a dog ramp, and this is the Petsafe Happy Ride extra long telescoping dog ramp. And I have a really big dog, Diesel. I have two dogs, but Diesel, he's like an extra large mastiff. He's like almost as tall as my car. And you know, as dogs that are really big, like him, mastiffs, Great Danes, even Labradors, you know, just large or extra large breeds of dogs, as they get older, jumping into cars, doing certain movements actually puts a lot of pressure on their joints. And so having an investment like a dog ramp actually can help them. And also when you have like a truck, like a really big truck or even an SUV, sometimes even to jump into this can be hard for dogs no matter what size they have, what size they are. So I wanted to share a quick video of all the details of this ramp, plus share some pros and cons of things that I like about it and things that after having it for a few months now, realizing, okay, well, I think I'd rather have this instead. And then I also wanted to show you guys how to teach your dogs how to use a dog ramp, because not every dog will just go right up it. My dog Diesel, who this was mainly for, he goes up anything, nothing phases that dog. He slept through his first hurricane as a puppy. That didn't even know it was happening. My other girl, Annie, though, she was a COVID puppy, so she gets really anxious about trying anything new. And so doing these kind of helpful steps to kind of teach her how to use it was extremely helpful. And I know my dog's not the only one who's like that. So I thought it'd be really cool. So we're gonna start going over the details of this ramp and then also kind of share all the different things about it that may make you realize that you might need one too. Okay, so some of the details of this ramp that, again, this is the extra long version. So this ramp is made of a heavy duty aluminum. It can hold up to 300 pounds. It can lock in place after you're done using it. And because it's the extra long one, and I'm not gonna fully set it out, but this ramp can actually range from 47 to 87 inches, whereas they have a regular version of this ramp, it's a little bit shorter. So if you know that you have a really tall car, like a truck or something, and you need that extra distance, I recommend the extra long. So now I want to go into some pros and cons of this ramp, and I wanted to kind of feel like transitioning from the details would be a really good place, because some of the details that I talk about it are the pros and cons. So one of the first pros that kind of goes along with one of the details that I shared is that it is great for super tall vehicles like trucks or SUVs when you're loading into the back of them. I travel obviously with my SUV, and I have a orthopedic dog bed, or it's an SUV dog bed from Big Barker. I have all their dog beds, shared tons of reviews about them. They're phenomenal. So when Diesel travels back here, this is perfect. And what's great about this ramp too, is since it expands so long to that 47 to 87 inches, the benefit of this is that it can really help provide your dog with a less steep of an incline into the back of your car, so you don't feel like they're walking like straight up into the sky, which also can be kind of hard when they're going up it for the first time, especially depending on the traction, which we'll get into that next. The downside of this is that it really only works loading into the back of your car, and I'm going to show you how this doesn't necessarily work for the side of your car, which I really hoped it would. Now, your car may be different, but for my SUV, this is as far as my door opens, so I can't go from the side and use it into my car. Now, every car is different. If your SUV opens a lot wider, you might be able to use it, but I have a Nissan Rogue, and it's like a 2017, so it's not a super old car, but it can't fit into the side here. So depending on the car that you have, just kind of keep that in mind. If you have a truck, I feel like you have a lot of leeway there, because I know a lot of people will, you know, they'll have their dog crates in the back, load their dog up maybe with the ramp, and then you can put the ramp next to the crate in the bed of the truck. But obviously SUVs have a little bit more or a little less room than a truck does, or a little less convenience there. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now we're gonna go on to pro and con number two. So pro number two is the high traction surface. Now I've had this for a few months, so you're gonna see some wear and tear as we do a close up here. So as they're going up and down it, and my dog Diesel he can have long nails sometimes because he hates getting his nails trimmed. So you kind of see as this is used, this surface might get a little roughened up or roughed up. I just made that up, it's fine. So that's, you know, it's a great surface to walk on, but if I had to be honest about like a con about this surface, you know, there are other dog ramps out there with different types of surfaces. Some have a carpet tread, which is very common, especially with indoor dog ramps, but I have seen it on some outdoor ones. I think I've even seen like a WeatherTech one have a carpet tread. There's a handful of different treads out there, and I kind of want to get another one to see the difference in how that tread helps my dog get in and out of the car. Because even though Diesel's good with this, I still feel like over time, like if he's ripping this up or anything like that because of his nails or something like that, I wonder how much the tread will come off. So that's just something to keep in mind. So far, so good. It's great. And since it is kind of like almost like a sandpaper, I'm really hoping that it's like you know, doing his nails as he's getting into the car, because like I said, he hates his nails getting trimmed. So I'll take any help I can get. So now we're gonna go on to the next set of pros and cons. Okay, so what I really love about this ramp, and which is why I got this ramp, is that it can actually hold up to 300 pounds, which when you have big dogs, like I said, if you have a Mastiff or a Great Dane or something, or if you have 2 dogs, you know, this is really helpful. It's made of a heavy duty aluminum, so it's gonna support your dog as they're coming up. You don't have to worry about it falling apart, which is something that's really important to me. I know this is gonna last. It is a little bit heavy at 18 pounds, but for me that's not heavy, but I know the definition of heavy is different to everyone. When you're done using it, it does have a button on the bottom. It's a little snap here to just snap it in place. This locks it so it doesn't move around. Only thing annoying about the snap is it's on the bottom of the ramp. I know that might sound petty, but I just wish it was on the top. To me, that makes more sense when you're using it the other way, but it is what it is. The con to this ramp, because it is so bulky, I know I shared about how you can use it with the back of your car, but I want to share about storage, because that was actually a question I got when I first got this ramp from a friend, is where do you put it? You can't fit it here, and obviously if you're putting your dog here, you don't want it to hit them. So I can't fit it here in my SUV. I can't put the seats down because, you know, my dog's there, and again, I don't want it to hit him. So I put mine on the floor of my car, which can have some pros and cons. If you're gonna bring a second dog who needs to get into the car, like granted you could put them up on the seat first, but it's just a lot of extra work. So I'm gonna show you guys how I fit it into my car and how exactly it fits, because I feel like measurements and details like that, especially since I mentioned I have a Nissan Rogue and I have an SUV, could help you guys see how you would fit it if you wanted to choose to do it this way. All right, so for me to use this ramp, I have to slide it in my SUV right here. And as you can see, it really kind of fits the entire length of my car. So granted, like I said, they have a version that's not the extra long, which I don't know if that determines like how long it extends, which makes this shorter or what, but you know, there are other ramps out there that are a bit smaller and some that fold in half and even, you know, even smaller than this. But if you want this version and you have a car like mine, just know it's gonna take up the entire floor of your back seat, which may or may not be an issue depending on what you want to do. Okay, so I grabbed Diesel and I've got a handful of treats, which is why I have his attention. So good, don't I? Yeah. And I wanted to show you guys how to teach your dog to get on a ramp. So the first step is actually laying it flat on the ground and then asking them to walk over it. Now again, he's done this 1,000 times, so he's just gonna walk over. I don't even need the treats, but he's such a good boy, he's gonna get them. So you just guide him over and walk over. Good boy! Give him a treat for doing it. I'm gonna switch hands. We're gonna do it the other direction. Diesel, let's go. Good boy. And then after you've done that a few times, then start introducing it to your car. So I'm gonna go ahead and set it up. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little bit of an incline. And again, he's a pro, so he knows what he's doing. So Diesel. I did it. Good boy. So it's as easy as that. You can extend it as long or as short as you want, and you have a really good way to kind of protect your dog's joints, especially as they age, and just kind of for everyday use, and makes car rides fun and enjoyable. So I did a full review with a few other car travel essentials that I've really liked over the years, including this SUV dog bed. I've got a really cool car seat cover that I love from one of my favorite brands, DGS Pet, and a few other extra little tips and tricks for those as well. So follow and subscribe to see more helpful dog product videos and reviews. And Diesel, you're gonna say goodbye? Say goodbye. He says, I want to look this way. Bye guys.